We are joined by trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris. Misty, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here, and let's get right to the meat of the question. You don't see defendants, especially in double murder cases, testify in their own defense very often. Will we see Murdaugh testify here?
Today is a big day because we're all waiting to see whether or not he'll testify. So let's go through what the defense is going to contemplate, because this is going to be a game time decision. First, it's important to know that the right to testify lies with the defendant. So they're the person that ultimately chooses whether or not they take the stand. Reports have indicated that Murdaugh wants to take the stand, so it will be his choice. Now, of course, his lawyers are going to advise him as to the benefits and the pitfalls of taking the stand. When you take the stand, there might be information that comes out that you didn't anticipate coming out. There's credibility questions. So it's a big, big risk. Now, there's a reason to do it as well. First, to humanize the defendant, especially in a brutal case like this, that can be important. Second, to explain away certain things that only that person could explain. And here, there are a host of inconsistencies, a lot of lies that Murdaugh has told that the jury would certainly like an explanation. Now, the defense asked for a limiting order, meaning that on cross-examination, they asked that the prosecutors not ask him about these 99 financial crimes and the charges associated with them on cross-examination. The judge said no, he would not grant that broad order. So that's going to be something as well, because he has the right against self-incrimination. But if the prosecution can ask those questions, he'll be having to plead the fifth, and the judge will make a determination about whether or not he has to ask optically. Not great for the testimony. So a lot of different factors to be weighed. In this particular case, a lot of the bad stuff has already come in, the financial crimes, the roadside shooting, all these inconsistencies. He might think, I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to go for it, take the stand, and explain some of that away.
Well, and the defendant here is himself an attorney, and from all reports that we have seen, a pretty good one. Does that change the calculus of the defense attorneys representing this attorney, knowing that when he gets on the stand, he's going to know how to handle it better than someone who does not have a law degree and experience in the courtroom?
You make an excellent point, because that's another component of what a defense attorney is going to analyze when giving advice about whether or not someone should take the stand. You have somebody who's familiar with the legal system, familiar with the way cross-examination is, that it's going to be hostile, that there's going to be leading questions, knows how to be, to be quick on his feet. And you also have somebody who presents well, seemingly. We've seen him in many videos. He does seem to be composed. Of course, the defense team is going to be analyzing how they're actually going to present in front of the jury and whether or not they're going to be able to withstand, in this case, a very, very tough cross-examination. So certainly his courtroom experience is going to go into that decision, and ultimately whether or not he takes the stand, he's in a better position than most, given his experience with the legal system. But remember, they always say a lawyer has a fool for a client if you represent yourself. So it's just because you're an attorney doesn't mean that you know what it's like to be in that position on the stand. So he's probably prepping with his lawyers day and night in the event that he does take the stand in really, really brutal test cross-examinations. And, we'll see what happens today.
Well, Misty, let's put you in the driver's seat. You are the defense attorney for Alex Murdaugh. What are you advising? Are you telling him to take the stand or to stay away?
I think he's got to stay away. I know it's an unpopular opinion. A lot of my colleagues are saying, look, it's all out there anyway. Get up there on the stand. I think in this case, there is just too much. There are too many lies. There are too many inconsistencies. And right now, what the defense needs to do is focus on the lack of evidence of the prosecution's case, like lack of forensics, they don't have the weapons, all of these issues that they can try and raise reasonable doubt. If he takes the stand and he cannot explain away these inconsistencies, number one thing, that video, he's on the video, his voice is there.
You're referring to the Snapchat video that his son, Paul, took before he was murdered, and Murdaugh appears to at least be heard in that video, right?
Correct. And so we've had 9 witnesses who have identified his voice. If he's going to get on the stand and say it wasn't me, I doubt that. I think he's going to say it was me, but the murders didn't happen in the timeline that the prosecution is saying, that the murders happened at 8:49 p.m.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.